Today, I'm going to start a training on the most fearful area there is. There is literally no way for me to sugarcoat this because it's so tough. And it is the act of cold calling. Even if I call it smart calling, it still feels miserable. And I had a huge lesson in Expert Dojo at the beginning when we invested in all of the companies at the start. We went through all of our growth programs. We explained what to do and we helped folks get there. And then we had one of our new trainers come in, who's one of the most brilliant individuals I've ever met and is incredible at cold calling. He himself, as practice, will cold call up to 100 times a day, even these days. And he called our companies and he said, hey, do you enjoy the Expert Dojo program? They're like, we love the program. He said, hey, are you getting a lot from the proactive? They said, we're getting so much from it. And then he said, tell me the proactive activity you did this week as far as calling people. And almost everybody said no. So why do they say no? Because people are terrified of it. It's not even about allocating the time. This is not one of those important versus urgent things. This is about, I don't want to do it, Bryan, because it's just absolutely horrible. So how do we take you to a place where actually cold calling is seen as something that will give you an edge, an advantage over other people? And again, I don't mean SDRs. SDR is sales development resource. And they are people that you hire to do this. I'm fine with that as an extension, but I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, startup, and saying this is your company. The clock is ticking. The sand is going through the glass. Your time is running out. And you know that you have resources. You love your product. You understand your product. Nobody knows it better. So this is about how do you do that. So in the program, we're going to help you build scripts. It's okay, because we know the script is going to help make this easier. We're also going to make sure that we help you find outreach lists. Again, we're going to use places like Hunter.io and Seamless and Apollo. There are so many out there, but we're going to show you how you actually do that. We're also going to help keep you accountable, because that's when it gets difficult. It is so hard for you to actually make sure that all the way through you're accountable from the beginning to the very end. And then we're also going to make sure that you continue to look at the results so that you can test, you can optimize, and as it's working, you can scale. Okay? Cold calling is something that is a necessity. And I'm encouraging everybody here, with the course, without the course, you have a startup. You want it to be successful. There are people out there who are very likely to like you. You can get their phone numbers, even if it's mentors. It doesn't even have to be customers. Steve Jobs once said, now when he was starting out and he was a young teenager, he picked up the phone to Hewlett-Packard, to the founder of Hewlett-Packard, and he said, hey, I'm Steve Jobs. I'm really interested in these things here. I would really like if you could tell me about them. And Hewlett-Packard Bill Packard, I believe it was so impressed with what he said that he offered him an internship. There are good people out there who will help you and work with you and engage with you if you only reach out. But there's a saying in golf, which is that you are absolutely guaranteed to miss 100 out of 100 putts that you don't go for. If you're not making cold call to the people who can impact your business, the mentors, the advisors, the partners, the affiliates, the groups, the conferences that can showcase you, the people who can give you a head start, the customers, the prospects, their friends, their referrals, all of this, then how do you expect to put the ball in the hole? Join us, look at the tips, commit. I beg you, this is the hardest one for you to do it. And then feed back to us and let us know how you've got on. The more motivation you can give, layered on top of what our existing companies are already doing, the easier it's going to be for other people who are in your shoes to get started.